You're in the Air Force, right?
Marines, actually.
How long are you here for?
A few weeks.
30 seconds left. Just get us in field goal range.
22!
The blackout may run along the entire northwest corridor.
What's going on?
Get to the cabin.
Jake, you take care of your brother, you hear me?
All right, now go now. Go while you still can. Let's go.
So did you ever think this film was going to come out? Oh man, I mean, I always, because I had seen it and I just, you have high hopes for anything that you do, and then knowing sort of what the final product was and that it just needed to get into the right hands because, you know, once it was put in front of an audience, it was more than capable of gaining its own momentum. So I was always hopeful. But man, there were some dog days in like April 2011 where I was like, oh crap, like I really hope this thing comes out. So the fact that we're sitting here and there's a poster and trailers, I'm pretty sure they can't renege at this point.
People that haven't seen it yet, how close is it to the original? Or would you even compare it to the original really?
It's hard. It's a hard medium. Approaching any remake, you kind of have to ask yourself, why do it? Like, why even touch something that obviously meant a lot to a lot of people? And what I loved about Red Dawn especially was, in the script, there were these moments that paid homage to the original, and like, I think if you love the first movie, you're going to walk in and just get blasted with nostalgia every 15 minutes. But you know, almost 30 years later, we were afforded the opportunity to, take advantage of new technology and new techniques in capturing the action, so that I feel as though in this new film, the scope is so much broader and the perspective is huge, and the stakes are kind of, multiplied by 100. So, I think, I hope that we made people proud.
So Dan Bradley, stunt guy. What was it like to work with somebody with that kind of energy? I mean, did you guys have to do a lot of your own stunts? I mean, what was it like working with him?
Dan's tough, and in a lot of respects of working with like a director that doesn't have the stunt background, they wouldn't be able to reassure you as much as Dan was able to. So a lot of times he would say, I promise you're safe, but you're close. So you're going to have a real reaction and give over to that. And you trusted him because you knew that he's made 100 other films and that he's got this spotless record. And so when you're sitting near an explosion and you feel that concussion wave and that heat wave, you're like, I'm in it, man. And it was a good day's work. So, and also in that respect, like when you don't have to act, it's a good day on set. When either you're in a car chase or there's an explosion or people shooting at you and you can just be there in the moment, it's, they're doing you a favor. But yeah, we did a lot of our own stunts, and I took away some scars, 2 stitches in my head, and put my arm through a board, and so Red Dawn's with me forever. I've got some lasting souvenirs. In many respects it was kind of a marathon process. In independent movies, sometimes the subject matter or whatever you're shooting will be really tough, but you're like, it's 4 weeks. I'll sprint through it, I'll get through, and then I'll just collapse when we're done. Whereas this was 3 months of training and 4 months of shooting. So it was kind of like just getting through the process was the accomplishment. And then, braving the elements in Detroit, middle of December, it's a little gloomy. And so there were moments where you'd be freezing on a 15-hour day and thinking, all right, I just got to, power through this.
Don't worry about it. Marines don't die. You just got to hell and regroup.
So I did 6 weeks of training with Navy SEALs, just me, and like, it was intense. It was like when Navy SEALs tell you to like drag a tire for a mile. Like, wait, why? And they're like, because we're Navy SEALs, and we just told you to do something. I'm like, yes, sir. So, I mean, you can't really argue. And it was rough. Like, there were moments where I was like, I can't handle this, it's too much. And then they have like this brilliant way of just sort of reinvigorating you and bringing you back to life for a second. And then it was a week of boot camp with the whole cast with Marines, and then a week of football training camp. So I'm as butch as I'm ever going to get. Like, I'm not, I don't get more masculine than this.
Okay.
It was intense, for sure.
So we all know the world's going to end in December. Did you guys have like discussions off the set about, like the end of the world and the apocalypse and all that kind of stuff? Did you guys ever talk about it?
They disproved that though, right? With the Mayan calendar.
We hope so.
Yeah, then they were like, that already happened. No, we were more concerned like, bro, where are we going for dinner? Are you feeling Benahanas? Because we bonded over hibachi.
I mean, but honestly though, was there any talk about like, what if this really happened? Like, could we really survive like this?
I mean, sometimes we would just sort of look at what we were doing in the environment and imagine like, could we be this ballsy in the real situation, And I think what's cool about the film is that everyone can identify with that. Like, what if the fight was brought to your front door and like some extreme circumstance was placed in front of you that you had to deal with? But I think we can all agree that I would be of no help. Like, that's what I've come to. I've made my peace with the idea that unless I'm being utilized in some sort of USO fashion, like making the troops laugh, and so maybe I could cook, or if the troops need craft service. But other than that, I'm in no position to do much fighting.
Well, after your Navy SEAL training and all that, you ought to.
Maybe. It's gone.
It's gone. It was just
3 years later, I've reverted back to my old ways.
I got no reception.
Try the radio.
What is this? I don't know.